One of the perks.
Yeah, so. No, we were just speaking about, well, we're not starting yet, so I'll just riff on something. It's not personal, it's just how it expresses through here, yeah? This is more like jazz, verbal jazz. It's not following a line of specific notes and yes, and having them have a sense and a logic. It's just improvised. So I show up, sometimes it's more brought out quicker, sometimes slower. It seems to always show, and something just comes out of me in the talk, yes? And it's like a riff. You just go off, like stream of consciousness or something like that. And then when we try to put it on paper or a book, it's a lot more difficult because you have to, reading is a different form of expression to me, or let's say a different form of hearing is reading, yes? When you're in the theater or when you're in the satsang, it's a riffing. It's like a verbal jazz. You hopefully don't move from the basic theme, and there's just riffing. Yeah, and hopefully it's a sense you get at the talk, not so much what was said, but the saying of it, yes? It's got a juice, I hope. So when it's an incredible, I feel, task to try to write our talks into a legible, comprehensible book or transcript, yes? Because of what's coming through doesn't care about syntax, periods, placement, it doesn't. It just wants to blurt something out, and I hope something gets transferred and there's a whack and a whack, more of a sense feeling. So, but it's a great, it's a great endeavor to undertake it, because when people go over what we've said, they get more out of it also. So they go over it and they get it in a lot of different ways, which is great. It's sort of like, yeah. You can smell something nice, you can rub it on you, you can do whatever. It's just, but however it works. But in my situation, it's just I just walked into the breach a long time ago with some kind of unfounded faith, and just sat and got the possibility to speak to people for last 30 something years, 3 years, about similar topics. And I just show up and let it go. And yeah. So that's all. We were just having a talk of how it's difficult, because they were asking me about, when I first heard this message, it was like a click or like an unspoken yes. And then over a period, and these are just forms of expressing something, yeah? And over a long period of time, I could call it the last answer, yeah? At that moment of the click, it was the last answer, but my expression or my sense of it as a last answer was living it in time, yeah? And the last answer took away the need for any other answer concerning this topic. But is it a last answer? No, it's not a last answer. Those are just expressions. They're just things we say. Not everything we say here has gravity, yeah? Some of it's meant to fly off here and there, and it's just part of the whole show. Yeah, and yeah. So again, yeah, that you can lose the forest from the trees a lot. So if someone brings me a bark of tree, I can go over that bark, but it doesn't have it may not have the meaning that people think it has. It's just as a bark of tree that got blown off in the storm of satsang. Yeah. And if it hit somebody, I didn't throw it that way. I didn't, you know what I mean? It may not have the gravity, but see, this is the beauty of this event. Everyone gives it all the meaning it has. Yeah. So someone may feel like I spit out an incredible nugget or a jewel, and to me it was just like 50. It was the 38th rock out of 50 rocks. Yeah, this is the coolness of it. Yeah, it's because this is not a regiment. You have to take it the way the book the written law of the book. No, it's interpretive. How you feel, how you're moved, what sense it leaves you with. Yeah, yeah. And that way, no one can take it away. We were talking about it the other day. When I was a kid, I was, like 17, 18 years old, 19 years old. Like many of my friends, we got introduced to the Carlos Castaneda books. Yes. Don Juan and peyote, and therefore the first drug we really tried to find was mescaline. Yeah, because we wanted to sort of have a desert event in Long Island. Yeah. I don't think I had seen a cactus yet in my real life, but there we go. And I felt I got so much out of those books. Yes. And then there was a concerted sort of attack on Carlos Castaneda later in his life, and to prove that he was a counterfeit and it was no Don Juan. It doesn't fucking matter. Yes, if there was a Don Juan or there wasn't a Don Juan, you got it. You got a Don Juan. Yeah. That's going to be that's going to be a shirt, a new shirt. You got a Don Juan. What was it? I think his name was Don Juan, wasn't it? Don Juan. Yeah, you got a Don Juan. What? What? Yeah. So it does. And a lot of Don Juans don't come in as Don Juan. Yeah. They weren't, oh, this is the Don Juan. No, you get whacked a lot of different ways. Yeah. The smallest thing. So I appreciate people who yeah, they find so much beauty in what's come through, but there was no intention to deliver the beauty. There was nothing. There was just an emptiness, and things come out. Yeah. And then I'm left empty of those things, really. Yeah. And I feel the overriding message is all the something always goes back to empty, you know? Empty was the beginning, empty is the end. Yeah. So, all right, that's what we were talking about. It was a long, long explanation, but that's what we were speaking of. And I mean, I love, have you ever, when I first gave talks and I felt like I said something and I meant it in a certain way, 8 people would come up and tell me, that was the greatest thing I ever heard. And then they explained it. I had that wasn't what I was even saying. But hey, I realized it's not in my jurisdiction. It's not me. So it's a public source information. Yeah. Make of it as you will and see where it takes you. Yeah. Have you met some people, they made an incredible, memorable expression, but when you meet them, they don't remember you at all. You had this profound thing. They were talking, it was between ordering like a hot dog and a soda. They said something, it just totally blew your mind, and there it goes. This is the beauty of this place. Yeah, this is why I love like Sufism and stuff. I don't love it, but I really liked how Rumi and the guy Hafiz and these people, could put into poetry this sort of, and express the inexpressible, yeah? And then it was so sublime, they could just parade it as the beloved, and, oh, I'm going out to meet the beloved. Obviously, there was no going out to meet any beloved, it was right there. But you know what I mean? They used the term to make a beautiful, like an autistic whipping dessert, so to speak, like when you whip cream, yeah? The cream turns into something else, and you get a different taste from it, but it's cream. But you can whip it in this artistic expression, and for that, the cream, when it's whipped in a certain way, affects people differently. Yeah, it's cream. It's the same message, but it's whipped in a different way. Yeah. So, yeah.
So the fact is,
Hmm?
the fact.
The fact is, yeah. Whatever you make it to be. Yeah. A fact is not going to bark back. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So where were we? Oh, good. Good evening. This is Wednesday night in the Zoom world of Zen Bitch Slap. Happy to see people. David from down under, Lynn D. The clouds are gone. Clear, nothing but clear skies. Yeah. John K. Terry from Camarillo. You know, everyone's gotten something from whatever's going on here, just as I do. I get it. What I call it is nothing, but I get a lot of it. Yeah. When I come here. I don't know. Whatever fucking spins your top. I don't know. I think it's gonna, it works that way. So I'm amazed about how a community has grown out of the Zoom. I'm blown out. I've been working at this all-woman retreat from Zen Bitch Slap since Saturday for 5 days. I'm amazed. I'm amazed how far they just got energy all day. Yeah, running around. Yeah, so I probably would never have met any of these people. And then I've met them, and I'm very grateful for it through Zen Bitch Slap, through this Zoom thing. Now, if you have asked me when the Zoom started, I wasn't interested in doing Zooms. Yeah. I just don't, and yet, I mean, once again, my head and its projections were proven wrong quite a lot. So here we are on another Zoom. All right, so you know, there was it was very short to see the faultness of trying to describe the indescribable. It didn't take me long coming to talks. When I heard someone in a non-duality presentation speak, trying to describe the indescribable, it always ended up in like a alley, like a one-way street. And then they'd have to spend a few minutes backing out, yeah, because they couldn't go anywhere, really. And then trying to understand the incomprehensible, trying to know the unknowable, trying to experience the unexperienced. Yeah. And then when I heard it in another way, when I heard a beautiful way, which is there isn't a person, yeah, there isn't a thing. And many of us probably know where that started to got some steam from one teacher. And I went and I saw him, and I had an incredible sense of something. But then when I left, I saw the really important thing. I saw the claiming of it. I saw the claiming of the message, you're not a body, by the body identity. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, and I said, wow, this is a major roadblock. So if I hear the message, I'm not that, it's going to be taken to be heard by I'm not that pretty fast. Yeah. And then I saw this mechanical activity of claiming. Yeah. Now, to try to explain what I feel when I say claiming, it's just something's going on, and then something goes on after that something goes on, and it claims it. Yeah. So something is going on, and then something arises in time after that first wave of what's going on. And in AA, we used to call it, the way I interpret the statement, of conscious contact. Yeah. So consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, there's an awakeness that's in contact with this dreaming, let's say, through eyes, ears, feel, taste, touch, smell. Yeah. So I saw, and first I thought, again, like usual, being in the trance of self, I believed that I was doing it. And that made me even worse. You know what I mean? I was the one who was claiming the seeing to say I'm a seer. And then it was very clear that I wasn't doing that. That was awesome. Yeah. That was a huge relief, because when I would share the message and I would explain what I felt selfing was, people would usually have two responses when they felt they got it. They said, I really got what you're saying, and then I've been selfing all day. Yeah. And so they were the perfect example of what I was seeing as the more important message, which is the warning about hearing the message. Yeah. I feel it's much more important than the message itself, because you are the message. Yeah. In most cases, you are not that which is saying it's hearing the message. But in all cases, you are the message in non-duality. You are the message. That's the fact, being ourselves reality. So that doesn't need any reinforcement. But what's hearing, or what's being claimed to be the hearer of the message, yes, is not the message. Yeah. And I felt that was more important than the message. Yeah. And I still do. I still feel, after thousands of these events, I still feel the most important thing in this message is not the message. It's the message about the claiming of the message. Yeah. Because if you don't see the claiming of the message, you're going to take yourself as something that is not the message. And you can see it. You can see when something finally talks to you at a certain place and it says, there is no person, there is no body, and you get it like a punch without a glove. But after you leave, it's been gotten by something else. And the head has gotten it. And now the way you're holding this whack that you got, that you are not a person, is as a seeming person. Yeah. There was no choice in that. You didn't feel, uh-oh, I'm doing it again. No, it just goes. Yeah. And the speed of it amazed me. Yeah. For a little while, I had a chance to speak somewhere in Fordham at it's a university in the Bronx in New York, and it was a neuroscience thing. Yeah. And I got a little dab of neuroscience. And to me, the speed of this claiming, in how I'm familiar with time, seemed to be super fast. Yeah. So in like a half a second or even less, something arose out when consciousness occurred, where I became in contact with even an idea in my head or whatever it is. This claiming would have me as this idea of being the doer, the thinker, the claimer, the feeler, the taster, the toucher, before I even knew it, really. And the only thing left in this world of time was, I have to find a process that can beat this process. And I humbly do not believe any process can beat this process of selfing. I do not believe it. Because I've seen people who have tried a lot more than me. Yeah. It may work for a second, but after a half hour, the event has already been neutered. Yeah. It's been claimed. Yeah. And I don't believe it has to stop. I believe we have to see it. And I do not believe we have to stop it. I don't. That's coming from the after effect. The after effect believes there has to be an effect to change anything else, but there doesn't. You don't need to change it. We need to see it. And we have the ability to see it because we're before it. Yeah. And really, what we are and what represents us really in this life, this consciousness or this awareness, is not of time. We may be looking through the lens of time, yeah, but the awareness is not of time. So the awareness that we are can see the manufacturing of what we're not. I do not believe the manufacturing of what you're not can see it. I don't. Yeah, it may entertain it, and even a punch may get through its defense, like it's rope-a-dope, but basically round 2 is just going to be like round 1. Yeah. A knockout isn't sufficient. It isn't. Unless it is, and in most cases it ain't. People hang their hat, and they had a lot of belief in peak experiences. Peak experiences come and go. The selfing doesn't seem to be that interrupted by it. Yeah. I don't see it being interrupted by anything. Maybe the only thing is death, and then you're not going to be there to know it was interrupted to begin with. Yeah. So where now in time is there to rely on? It can't be of time, because it will be too late then. The first process will have infected what comes after it. This is why I humbly believe, if you read that statement that Ramana made about the presupposing of the non-existent thing and then wanting it, and then taking itself to be an existing thing, yeah, this is the claiming, yeah. If that's the case, and then it wants to get salvation for itself, if that's the case, then your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. That's exactly the perfect diagnosis of what actually happens. Yeah. That's why things you think would work don't ultimately work, because they're reinforcing the manufactured what you are. Yeah. In time, they're not diminishing it. They're reinforcing it. Who sat on a meditation pillow with that understanding? But that's how it hit me. And then futility was the greatest hallelujah. Yeah. Because the thing that wants to get out of everything, I'm not in. Yeah. And the thing that wants to get into something, I'm not out of that in. Yeah. So its insanity is dualistic. It wants to get out of what it's not in. It wants to get into what's not out of. I'm freed from both. Yeah. I'm liberated from the dualism, non-duality, the liberation of duality, let's say. I'm liberated, and it didn't look like I thought liberation would look, because I thought I'd be in the picture of liberation, and I'm not. There's no sign of me anywhere. There's no plaque. I'm not on a wall. No, there's nothing. There's no medals. I didn't get a compensation. I'm not getting like fucking Social Security. Nothing, completely absent. Yeah. It was the most unattended parade I've ever been in. I didn't even show up. Wow. Yeah. And so this stuff was coming through, because in a sense I felt, because light put me in a position to speak to others. They did. When I first got into recovery, understanding seemed to come easy to me, and I seemed to be able to affect people by sharing, because they couldn't articulate, or they were having difficulty understanding, but they had the sense of what was going on. And it was just nice to put it in a box and put on a bow. And so when I saw that value, life was putting me in a place to share. And a lot of learning came from just sitting in a seat in front of people. Because obviously, when something came in and I could feel the effect of it on me and in the space we were all sharing, the head immediately thought it was another fucking spiritual order where I have to get better. I've got to get higher and clearer so I can do this incredible chosen people having this incredible opportunity. And then that which was talking to me, not through words, but through some other feeling, told me it has nothing to do with you. Your condition doesn't have any effect on this condition. Hallelujah. Incredible. And I saw it proved itself over and over again. I was in terrible conditions sometimes, but that condition that spoke wasn't affected at all. It had someone's not. I'm trying to be a host because people are trying to get in. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So no one's riding the horse. It's just going wild. But yeah, so that really blew my mind, because when we're thinking from where we think from, we're always included in the equation. Yeah. So when I'm going to meet God, I've got to tidy my room. I got to get the candle on. I've got to get the right music. God's not sending me these requests, if you want to call it God. I don't get, hey, listen, you've always been in the presence. It's not like it's been absent, and then you get a message. All right, I'm gonna bless you with presents tomorrow at 3. I want only green M&Ms. I want fucking chanting. Those are coming from our head. We're not getting any fun. We're not getting any message. We're making up the message. And if you want to talk, we're made in the image of God. We've made God in our image. Yes. So this is non-duality is meant to stop the constant flow of this shit, so that maybe you can see you're not in it. Yeah. Well, it was great. I'll tell you, it was awesome when I was finally convinced that I cannot be out of a moment. That was incredible. Yeah. And because then I started joking about that books. Remember that they had a big run on getting into the moment, and they'd have the book getting into the moment. And then obviously it implies that you're out of a moment, which is totally insane to me. But you get the book, how to get into the moment. And then you get the second edition, how to really get into the moment. And then the third edition, how to stay in the moment, which is the fucking holy grail in spiritual seeking. Stay in the moment. It just blew my mind, because how can we're never out of the moment. Yeah. And then I was doing a talk at this big spiritual bookstore, and after the talk, to get our cash, they had tons of books always coming in. And I see this book, Consciousness, 900 pages. So consciousness is going to sit down and read a book about consciousness. That's insane. It's insane to me. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think it could be, you can shorten it. You can make it succinct and just put it out there. You're not getting it. If this is part of your master plan, it ain't working. You're not going to get it. Yeah. I know you've heard the party's great, but it sucks when you get there. That's the way it is. Yeah. You're not invited. Why? Because you're already at the freaking party. Yes. Try to think that one through. When did you ever entertain that you are what you're looking for? I feel a huge relief on everything. Yeah, maybe for a second, and then he's doing something again. Yeah. This is, you are seeing now, right now. You don't have to start seeing, you're seeing now. Yeah. And then there's the act of the manufacturing of this idea of you. All you need is another pair of glasses. You just rent them for a little while. You can return them or give it to someone else. Just put on the understanding of non-duality and look the way you've always been looking. Yeah, that's awareness. Awareness is whatever you call you looking is fueled by awareness. So the awareness will see what the non-duality understanding will describe. And when you see the description of what you've heard in non-duality, there's something's going to happen. Yes? And probably a lot of shit is going to come to an end. Yeah. Things are going to get rearranged. And now that same awareness that was directed by the head and was causing you such discomfort and irritability and restlessness, constantly going over your yesterdays and tomorrow, will be enriching your day. You will sense a presence of undirected attention and interest. Yes? You'll walk in it like a cloud. Yeah. It doesn't end. It doesn't begin. Yeah. Now, do you have attention and interest that go to things and everything? Yes. Yes. But there'll be a sufficient amount of interest and attention that has stopped all of this mental fucking activity, moving it, directing it, going over shit ad nauseum. And when it stops, that's presence. To me, undirected interest and attention is presence. Yeah, you sense it. So there you go. Yeah. Come back here. If you're confused, that's a good sign. People are coming in all day. All right, bring them in. Yeah. If you are, because it's not you that's confused, it's the head. The head is like the size of a pea. Yeah. It's a pea brain with a fucking interstellar understanding. It has no idea what's going on. It has millions of ideas, but they're based on a premise that makes absolutely no sense. Yeah. When you're introduced to the logic of non-duality, and it is a logic, it will twist even more the fucking knots of the mental logic. It will be like a wrench thrown in its works. And when the mental logic gets interrupted and pauses, which it will, you are there, bright and shining as an emptiness. You are there. You are here. You pause that thing that has been representing you as an activity. When that gets paused by these understandings, there you are. Yeah. You are that brilliant presence. Yeah. Movement or no movement, it's there. It's here. Yeah. You get a hit of it. It goes a long way. It really does. Yeah. It can put a lot of shit to rest. Yeah. It really can. And then you see things not as you choosing. It's like, can you imagine? It's like the idea of the mortal sin in Catholicism. It's a really strange idea. They tell you when you were, after you've been born that you did something, you can't remember it at all, but and it's categorized as a mortal sin. So there's no hope for any kind of repentance or whatever. It's like a drag, yeah? So you're a little kid and these people tell you this and you're going, what the hell? I can't remember anything. And now I'm walking around with this mortal sin. Yeah. This is like the some of the relief you'll feel is like a permission, unearned, but a permission. Yeah. And the way you'll know that you have been withheld is when the withholding is weakened. Yeah. That's how you usually come to certain conclusions. You don't know anything really about gravity until you enter an anti-gravity chamber. Then you'll know gravity. Yeah, by its absence is how you know it. And the same thing, when this ever-present idea of Paul is seen to be absent, it's the most revealing knowledge you'll ever have. Not self-knowledge, but knowledge of that idea of self. Yeah? Yeah. So I'm really happy everyone's here and you put up with me. The asylum has given me a couple more nights to do other things. I appreciate it. Yeah. The Jello is good tonight. I'm happy. The Thorazine seems to be kicking in. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Who's running this tonight?
Andy's
here.
up. Andy.
Oh, Andy. Andy took over. All right.
No, Andy's got his hand up.
Oh, Andy. All right,
My
Andy.
hand up. Hey, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about a moment yesterday. It was so beautiful. I was out just weed whacking, and I ran out of string in the weed whacker, and I just walked back to the porch where I had everything, and I sat down in my chair, and I was just looking out over the fields and at the sunset, and like everything collapsed, space and time and presence, and everything was completely irrelevant and indistinguishable from anything, from itself, or it just was just a beautiful, like totally blissful experience of what I think is non-duality. And I think what you're talking about tonight is like, you know, where I think I'm walking around as what I'm not, you know, all the time. Like I just have to be okay with being what I'm not all the time. You know, if I'm sitting around just tripping out on non-duality in my brain as a concept, that's what I'm not, you know. And so I just don't see that there's, I mean, there's like, I just have to be comfortable with being what I'm not, you know.
Yes.
That's it, huh?
Yes. The only way I ever found being comfortable being what I'm not is realizing I'm not that. When it's taken to be me, it was just a drag. It was, I used to call it the Urban Renewal Project. And it was just, funding was cut off. Be happy with the 5 floors and everything like that. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's a very yes, that's a clear way of saying it. Yes. You'd be comfortable, quote unquote, being, which is mean a moment in time, being what you're not, a moment in time. Yeah. Yeah. What you are is being, but not of time, so to speak. So here you have a more comfortable, to me, it's called traveling lighter. That's how I presented it. Yes. And I stick with it. It works for me. And of course, if you say traveling lighter, it means it's in a world of possibilities, which is duality, which is you could be traveling heavier. If you wanted to say it more specifically, it would be traveling light. But we're not talking about the specifics. We're talking about the effects in the demonstration of this event called duality, the way we see things. And we see things from a divided point. Yeah. Subject objectness. Yes. Yes.
Even as we're trying to non-dualityise everything, you know, and it's like, it's so dualistic because there I am.
Exactly. So this is sort of like, you realize you're not the spacesuit, but you're still living in the spacesuit, so to speak. So, yeah, yeah,
True.
yeah. But see, the funny thing is, when the day of the spacesuit ends, it'll be like there never was. Yeah. Yeah. If you're not in time, you can't have a memory of time. This is, how do we reinforce the dreaming right now? We remember the dreaming, and we remember it in a realistic light, and therefore we have an assumption it's realistic now. It's a manufactured event in a lot of forms. Time and space obviously are the big aspects of it. Yeah, so memory has a role, not to remember what you are, but to remember what you're not. That's the whole fucking point. Yeah. You can't remember what you are. You can't. Yeah. There's never a moment you haven't been in. So we think we're in another moment of being Paul, but not the Paul I was in a previous moment. So I can remember Paul quite a lot. And it has a lot of, it reinforces Paul. But what we are is right now and needs no reinforcement. The I am doesn't need, see, this is how you get to Paul in time. I was Paul, I will be Paul, therefore I am Paul now. I am doesn't do that. I am is I am. Yeah. Existence is existence. It's not previous existence, future existence, it's existence. Yeah. It's the I am. And the thing is, after the I am, there's names and form added. Yeah. And maybe as a name and form, you don't want to be a name and form. Tough luck. You're of name and form. You can add 5 Shrees before your name. You're still name and form. You could go to the 8th level of Shri, 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 Shri. And it's the Shri is held by a name and form. See me? Yes?
So the I am is like the last remnant of what I'm not.
Here, yes. No, the I am is no, well, yes, in a sense, it's the real remnant of what you're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like every story has a kernel of truth. Yes. Well, the same thing. Every story here has a kernel of truth. That kernel of truth is I am. Yes. None of this would be able to happen unless there was a little I am here. Obviously. Yeah. It's the eternal water for all this shit to come up. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's where the trouble.
I
it's where
was
the
ain't
trouble
gonna
began.
do it. I was ain't gonna do it. I will be ain't gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not where all the trouble begins.
No, I think the trouble begin in time. And the solution is out of time. That's what I believe. See, time allows a lot of shit can happen in time. Yeah. That could never happen. But in time, it can seem to have happened. Yes. Yeah. Time is like when the magician waves his wand, time is like the waving of the magician's wand. That's how I feel it. It's like veils of saran wrap that you don't even know are there. Saran wrap. When stuff is seen through time or comes to you through time, it mutates through that journey. Yes. Something that didn't even happen can seem to have happened, and it may be your modus operandi for all your stories. Yeah. A memory that never even happened. Yeah. So time is you have to, everyone knows this, if you go to a job that you don't like, it goes on forever, right? It's like an eon between when you started and the first break, it's just incredible. If you're doing something you like, it goes super fast. Obviously, time is a construct. Yes. 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 It's us that give it its speed or its slowness. It doesn't have a speed or slowness. We are the dreaming. We are the dreaming. Now we think we're dreaming things, but mostly we're dreaming time and space, yeah? And then in time with space, you can see things. Yeah, so. Yes, but what you implied is awesome, yeah. The head has this belief that one day it can be so sufficient, I'll be ahead without being with the other head, but it doesn't work. I haven't found it. So, yes, the real liberation is from the need to be liberated. Yes, there's a part in a lot of us that want to be liberated, but we think we're not a part of the rest of the part that we are, which we are. Yeah, seemingly. In other words, we think we're a renegade fabric that just fell upon this other sweater. No, we've been sewn into the sweater. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, traveling lighter. This is what happened. I wanted to get out of here forever since I was young. Yeah, and then that was broken. I don't know how many years ago, and now, and the basis of the breaking of wanting to get out of here, I realized I'm not in here. Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's the only thing that ever worked. The only thing that ever worked was seeing I'm not in shit. The out was going to keep on going, trying to get out. It wasn't being answered by that. You know, you've got to, and I had run through a lot of new ways of trying to get out. But the real thing that worked with me was negation, yeah, which was you're not in, yeah. And so the negation turns like a frustrated thing, I'm never going to get it, into a hallelujah, I'm never going to get it, yeah. You know, on one sense, it's frustrating when I really feel like I want to get something because of where I'm listening to and where that is. I'm super pissed I'm not getting it. And then when I realize I'm it, or that on having never left, it's hallelujah that I'm not getting it. I'm so happy that the fucking system is frustrated because it's gonna break. And you know, like when they get a Bronco, you know, and they break the horse, the head is going to be broken here. It is. By the understanding of non-duality, it's going to become, it's going to adapt, yeah? It is. It's going to break, and it's going to be the better for it, yeah? And then he'll see great joy in little things instead of be fucking pissed off that things are always little. You'll see great joy in fucking little things. Yes. Yeah. So whatever it takes, this is the easier, softer way. Seriously. Now, to me, I had to go probably through addiction and recovery to actually be able to allow non-duality to get into the system. But then everything, if that's the case, then everything that had to happen is great news because the mail was finally delivered. I'm stoked completely. And all that shit that seemed to be so heavy is so light now. It doesn't even have any weight. So all I have is the weight of this emptiness. It's great. Really cool. So yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Anyone? And we haven't forgot, Andy. I'm just waiting for weather and stuff. Yeah, I haven't forgotten anything about that. We wanna go up to the Eel River, but
Yeah, come check it out.
we are.
check it
We're
out.
gonna check out, and you maybe have trouble getting rid of us. What
Give
is
me
that?
some warning though. I got to know because I got other things happening this summer too.
Yeah, I will. We'll talk. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Ram Charan. Charan.
Ram Charan.
Charan.
Oh.
Ram Charan.
Ram Charan.
Thank you. Hi, Paul.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, hey, bro. So just a couple of things. I'm not sure if there's a question in here, but I'm wanting to kind of bounce something off of you because it's so I guess some emergent understanding about a couple of things. And one is, you know, the essence of this message obviously never changes. It's always been. And there's an immediacy and a totality to this that's it. It's immediate and total because it's always been. And yet in time, there is a way that it seems to affect this character. And something I'm noticing a lot recently is I just don't have as much energy to put energy into sustaining an illusion. It's not that interesting. But it's not something I chose or I did. You know, I was talking to a couple of people recently, and they'd say, well, how did you get to that point that you don't have as much interest in the, I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's like even the knowing is an illusion, or an attempt to know is an illusion. So I don't have the energy to put into even trying to figure it out. I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying. Do you have anything to say about that? It's a little bit.
That's demonstrating your loss of interest.
That's all.
Well, yeah, you lost enough interest that you didn't care if it happened or not. You just said it. You missed the day when it seemed to have occurred because your interest wasn't like a sentinel looking over what was going on. Exactly. You're talking about a loss of interest and you're demonstrating the loss of interest in your share. There you go.
Right. And the character trying to get to that point was too interested.
Yes.
That itself was maintaining the stupidity.
Well, exactly. That's the fundamental Chinese torture, thumb torture. Yes.
It spins itself out when it spins itself out. So
Yes.
another thing I noticed is that, I'm still an idiot a lot of my day. It's not like I'm walking around some sort of, oh my God, I'm in this continual, freedom. But it's not like that. I still get fucking pissed off at like.
That may get worse too.
It can make it worse. So
because now you may unbridle that horse. So it may step over, may stampede occasionally.
It may stampede occasionally, or just like today, and just as a stupid example, I was trying to make a booking because I want to go somewhere in a hotel, and they'd say $130 a night. So I press 2 nights, and by the time it comes up to a total, it's $800. And I'm like, 30 times 2 is 260, not 800. All this shit was really pissing me off.
Yes.
And there's times when I feel a bit caught in that, and
Yeah.
I can't just non-dualize myself out of it. But when I speak with people who have a question about this stuff, I seem to always know how to answer them. And yet I can't always answer my own stupidity.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because it's not about you, bro. Yeah, at that moment it was about them. So you had something to say that was going to be helpful to them. It had nothing to do with you. You were like a tool, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So stop trying to use it. Right.
Well, just see it's not you that tries to use it.
Right.
Stop trying to use it as another order in the spiritual.
Another strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just see you're not that which feels like it's doing something it has to stop doing. Yeah. And then you'll see if you'll probably stop out of lack of interest. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it'll have to happen by
Step on anyone's toes, you can make amends. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've cultivated all my friends here. I mean, I told them, hey, it's the message, not the message. If you hang out with me, it's a couple hours. Yeah. You want to buy me every week a dinner, come here for a few days. I'm ending up buying you coffee. Yeah. No, this is what happens. People love familiarity. If you want to be a special person, that's the bane of all special people is familiarity. Yeah. So they need to have it. They need to be not there a lot. And then, yes, it's got to be controlled because if you hang out with people, you're going to see, for all intents and purposes, people. That's all, and yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't have live-in relationships.
Yeah, yeah. I do better when I'm always in what, blind dates. I'm great at a blind date. Once they see me, they don't want to hang out. So. I gotta keep them blind. It's just the way it goes, everyone is, the desire to get out isn't from us. It's from
Right.
what we're not, yeah, yes. That
So-
desire to get out is like one of the biggest ins in this place, is the desire to get out. Yeah. This is duality, you see? So duality can change the meaning of enter, exit. So very easily we can start thinking all the entrances are exits and the exits are entrances. Yeah. Because it switches it way it goes. It emphasizes stuff. So you're walking this way and you wanted to go that way. This is how insane it is. So you just recognize the futility of that which wants to get out of what it's not in and get into what it's not out of. You can't waste time. You can, because you'll learn from it, but you're not going to teach a mechanical reaction
Right.
to do something different.
Right.
You're not. It just doesn't work. Yeah. It's not a part of you. It isn't. If you're in a spacesuit and you've been in there a long time and you don't realize that you think the spacesuit is you, it doesn't mean that doesn't, even no matter how much you think the spacesuit is you, it's not you, it's a spacesuit. And it's going to follow the programming of the spacesuit, no matter how much you want it to change or follow something else, because its programming overrides your program. The one that you want to apply to it, it's already has a defense against it. It's the same thing with Hal in 2001, when they tried to get in there and change Hal. Hal had taken the last answer. He got it from whatever, and he wasn't going to be changed, and he killed the humans. That's what he did. They were, don't kill the humans, but it was too late, because that program was put in before the programs they were trying to put in. Yeah. And we start and the program has already installed. Yes. We're living through, we're not choosing the installation. We're basically living as the after effect of the installment. Yeah. And then we have this magical thinking of being uninstalled and this and that. This is what you're liberated from. You're liberated from the need to escape. You're liberated from, trying to get into, in through the outdoor and out through the indoor. You're liberated from this shit. Does it mean you don't go out the indoor? No, you do. But all the meaning is this place is a subjective, interpretive experience. Meaning is the fucking weight. Emphasis is the weight. There's no scales here the scales of justice cannot weigh an interpretive event. It cannot weigh a subjective experience. There are no scales that can weigh emphasis and meaning. They can't. We're not that sophisticated. This is just why, like a friend of mine, maybe they were pushed to a point of years of abuse to do something and they slapped somebody or hit somebody. The court system only sees the hit. They don't care. They don't see the fucking yapping or what happened. They don't know how to measure or weigh anything. Yeah, it's sort of like if you have 50 marbles, you have 50 marbles. This is not a thing world. It's an interpretive dream of things, yes? The weight of this whole place is not the weight of the metal and the steel. It's the weight of the mental, of the meaning that's being given to things. This is the weight. This is what's causing people to travel heavy. Yeah. Look at this place in the history of warfare. It took them so long to realize shell-shockedness, everyone that used to get disturbed by giant explosions right next to you, because there wasn't a cut or a blood or a broken arm, oh, nothing happened. And they were all seen as cowards, yeah? Yet the most dominant effect was that effect, yeah? The most dominant effect isn't a cut on your skin. It's a fucking emotional scar. That's the biggest fucking wound, yeah? No eyes to see it, none. Yeah, this is what we're working with. We're walking in blindness, thinking we can see. Yeah, you can't do it justice. If you look, the person got up, the person has some money in the bank, feels pretty good, this and that, and then kills themselves. No people can make sense. You don't know what was going on in the fucking head. Yeah, that overrode the finances, overrode the physical health. I'm telling you, the head can override circumstances and physical conditions like that easily. Yeah. Know what we don't, hey, bring the scales of emphasis. Oh, yeah. They don't have the scales of emphasis. All right, bring the weighing the meaning machine. There's no weighing in the meaning machine. This is dreaming. Weights don't fucking matter here. Physical weights don't matter. Yeah, it's how you see it. I remember Gabriel Marquez, a great writer, to get over something like this. He wrote a book about a murder in a small village in South America. 7 eyewitnesses saw everything completely different. But there's 7 eyewitnesses of the one event. No one saw as the other one saw it. He was just trying to expand on this idea. It's a subjective experience. It's interpretation. Yeah, constantly. Now, is the head completely interpreting this life for you? Yes. Can that be changed? No. Can you lose interest in it? Yes, completely. And now there'll be a weight of silence that can override all the yapping. It can. The emphasis changes the whole meaning of everything. If you emphasize one aspect, it changes the meaning of all the other aspects. Yeah, something can direct your seeing to see clearly, and it's not the mental condition. Yes. Allow it to fail. It has. Admit it has failed. See that it's not you, and you will be directed and you will be used, but it won't be from the head and it won't be from this fucking mental condition. It won't. You'll have an override that you never knew was available because it's not available in the head. It ain't. So this plate is about made up weight and emphasis and meaning. I've seen people driven to kill themselves over and over again. And you could not make a logical map from 2 days before to the moment of death. Could have been going pretty damn good, but they didn't think so. Yes? Yes. Yeah? The interpretive overrides the facts here all the fucking time. All the time. Yeah? But no, we can't get it as a group or a society. We can't.
Well, there aren't very many facts.
Exactly. But we keep putting everything on the same scales and they suck. Yeah. So traveling lighter, it may look like a traveling lighter and it may not. To me, it just allows you to travel lighter through whatever life has in store for you.
Doesn't matter if it looks like it or not.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's just, you may have the same weight of the meaning, but it'll be distributed differently. Yes. Yeah. So, and you're going to observe it somehow on some levels, and you're going to express its effects, and you'll travel lighter. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Lloyd has a question.
Wait, before Floyd comes in. Lesson 2 of the Course in Miracles. You and I give everything all the meaning it has.
Mhm.
Yes? Lesson 1 was there is a real world. There wasn't. That's not lesson 1. Lesson 2, you and I give everything all the meaning it has. Yes.
The
Floyd. No, let me go to Floyd, Rams. Thank you.
all right, sure.
Yeah.
Well-
Hi, Paul.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So last 6 months, I've been watching this satsang and I've been here most of the time. And there is a lightness, but there's also a doubt which comes that am I claiming this lightness or am I trying to sort of conjure it or concoct it with my head or something like that. So what would you say about that
No,
kind
no,
of?
no. There's a claiming of it, but it's not you claiming it. I hope this message is going to weaken that
Right.
habit of thinking that claiming is you claiming. It's just claiming. Something is reaching out to give it a meaning and it's not you. And that's what you give the meaning to that which is reaching out to give it a meaning. It's not you. Yes.
Yeah, it's more like a relief.
The relief is from that. And then it does its thing because it's mechanical and you see it and it weakens its whole effect. Because the effect, it doesn't come from the mechanical action. It comes out from our response or reaction to the mechanical action. And that is based on where the interest and attention lies. If you're in the idea of this, the idea of being a long-lasting, independent, separate entity, the emphasis and meaning is going to be definitely different than when you realize you're not a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. Yes? Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, just you get some relief, and then when something tries to claim it, don't call it you trying to claim it because it isn't. Just see it's not you that's trying to claim it, and you'll lose interest in that. Yeah. And then all the claiming will not end up to anything being claimed. Yeah. There'll just be a lot of claiming. Your life won't be claimed by all the claiming. It won't. It's not your life. Life won't be claimed by all the claiming. Life will go on its little meandering way, and I hope you can flow with it. Yeah,
Thank you, Paul.
yeah,
Thank
bro. Yes. A little bit of lightness is quite substantial, really. I mean, yes. And lightness begets lightness.
Yeah,
Introduce a little into the system, it may shake it up a lot. Yeah.
true.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Floyd. Thank you for coming and holding the space with all of us. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Anyone else? If not,
No hands.
we can say, start saying goodbye, I guess. Well, you know, if you've been introduced to the course or almost everything, a lot of messages have used a description of dreaming to imply the unreality of what we're taking to be real. Yes? Just and the Course in Miracles goes into great detail to describe dreaming. I thought I haven't gone through millions of books, but through the limited books I went through, I felt that Course really emphasized dreaming and went through it like, yeah. So obviously, you and I give everything all the meaning it has, and then it talks about everything is meaningless and stuff like that. So you see that this whole event is emphasis and meaning. Yes. So if I give something a meaning and that something can't give me a meaning, this is the dreaming. Yes. If something was real, it would impose its reality on me. On some levels, like if you run into steel it's going to impose its seeming reality on you. It's going to hurt a lot. Yeah. And this is how the head substantiates its belief that this place is real because of weight and hardness and shit. But in fact, most of what's going on here is dreaming. Yes. And there's an emphasis and just a mutating of, moats into mountains and mountains into other things, and on and on and on. It's an incredible event, really. Yeah. And the Course doesn't say you're in it, but it says you are it. It says you are the dreaming of it. Wow. Yeah. So you're not in a dream. Therefore, if you are the dreaming, how are you going to get out of the dreaming? It tells you a way. It says, you know what you're going to do? You're going to dream yourself out of the dream. So you're going to use what is dreaming to dream yourself out of the dream. That's one of the ways this plays out. And it looks like you're traveling lighter. That's that movement. Yeah. You're using the objects of the dream to dream yourself out of the dream. Yeah. Yeah. What would that be? You could call it the engine of negation. Yes. So the things that you are seeing from that you believe is real and seeing there as real, there's a negation of it. Not of the appearance, but of the reality of it. That's all. And what happens? There's a huge shift in meaning and emphasis. Yeah. All the while, still, you and I are giving everything all the meaning it has, but now we're getting a sort of another flavor of meaning that we couldn't imagine. Because when all the meaning we were tasting and putting out there was a self-centered meaning, that's a very small bandwidth, very small spectrum. It doesn't have many colors. But then we get a whoosh by negating that I'm that self-centeredness. Then let's see in brighter colors and more nuance and tons of things, more just like today was such a beautiful day with light and space. Just unbelievable. Just kept giving you more and more clarity with no effort or thought. The wind wasn't blowing hard. It was just blowing. It's just incredible. Yeah. That when you see that, it's coming from the here. Yeah, not here, but what we are. We are the beauty that we see expressed in the dreaming. We are that beauty. We are all of the qualities that we so admire when we can perceive them. We are the source of it all. Yeah. We are the dreaming of the dreaming. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to say, start saying goodbye. Kerry, thank you. Always a pleasure, everyone. Mike Clark, nice to see you. David down under. Yeah. Holly, nice to see you, Holly. I don't get to see her much live. We got Andy. Thanks, Andy, for the share. Eric P., William Stamps, Lynn D., Terry from Camarillo, Shannon Corkery.
Hi, Shannon.
Kathleen says hello.
Hi, honey.
We got 3. I'm surrounded by females. It's female dog, female cat, female. Jeez. I think I'm making a living amends to my mother, probably. Yeah. Clean up some stuff. All right, Bill Churchman, nice to see you, my friend. Mika from Finland, Alan Olson. Dana, he's the happiest person that's never gotten it. It's great. I like to see Alan. Sabina, welcome, Sabina. Nice to meet you. Yeah, come back. We'll have yes, nice to see you. Mike G from San Clemente. Susan H. Always a pleasure, Susan. I get to see Susan live. That's a nice, I count my blessings when I see her at satsang. Ram Charan. John K. There's the man. The man formerly known as Jed. Lisa. Lisa in Alabama. Yes. We got Susanna. Susanna. A phone number. I don't know what that is. I think I've lost everybody. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much. Mike C, nice to see you. Thank you for all the support and help.
Thank
Send-
you, Paul.
See you. Oh, I didn't see you, Dana. Yeah, Dana, nice
Thanks,
to see
Paul.
you. Everyone. Yeah, there's a Kathleen knows Dana.
Hi, Kathleen.
We all are. Yes.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Paul.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Thank
tomorrow.
you, Mike.
people.
Good night.
Hold on,
Thank you.
Saturday is at the church. I think it's up there, but it's at the church, the live meeting at 1 o'clock in Marin City.
Okay.